Yo, Elliot! This question's from the Bugle Bass. He wants to know, Elliot, what do you think of these Mike Mentzer's advanced protocols for weight training, including rest, pause, and negatives? Also, what are your thoughts on his philosophy of doing one set of training? There are guys like Dorian Yates, obviously Mike Mentzer himself, who've gotten good results by doing this, but it just seems like too little volume. So when I first started weightlifting back when I was about 15 or 16 years old, the first year I used my uncle's program, but after that I started experimenting. I found a really good article by Mike Mentzer in a magazine, and I started doing the 1 or 2 sets, and I gotta be honest with you, I didn't get any good results. I thought it was fun to track the strength going up, and it was to some degree, but I wasn't getting what I got when I increased the volume several years later and started doing more of a traditional bodybuilding split. As time has gone on and I've placed most of my effort, most of my experience since then has been in strength training, lifting heavy for lower volume. I've come to experience the type of hypertrophy that Mike Mentzer describes in his books that come from high intensity work. I've come to appreciate it, and even as you watch me cutting weight now, I still lift very, very, very heavy. My volume is quite low, 5 sets of 2, 3 sets of 3, and I'm still getting stronger. I still feel good. And when it's time for me to gain some muscle again, once I get as shredded as I want to, and time for me to gain some muscle, I'll still lift the same way, but I might add a tiny bit extra of these protocols that you're describing right now. So if I were to gain muscle mass on a low volume program like Mike Mentzer's heavy duty, I would immediately begin using these rest pauses, which basically means you do a heavy set of, say, 3 reps, rest for 10-15 seconds, and then do another one, rest for 10-15 seconds, do another one. They're rest pauses. They're just a pause so that you can grind out another repetition. And also negatives, where the weight is so heavy that you could only do the eccentric portion of the movement. So to say that you're doing just one set, I think is a bit of a, I don't think it's necessarily true. You know, Mike Mentzer says, yeah, just one set, but it's like, yeah, he didn't mention that he's doing iso holds, contractions, rest pause, negatives. When that one set is done, the amount of time under tension that's associated with it is probably the same as if you did 3 sets of 8. You know what I mean? I mean, you're doing that set to where you have burnt out every last bit of energy in that muscle. That set is not done in 30 seconds. That's like a 2-minute freaking set. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm reading his books, by the way, I can't stand his books. He even talks over my head. It's so fucking boring the way this guy writes. It's not even like a scientist. It's like, he's like a philosopher / scientist, but it's not entertaining at all. So I wouldn't recommend reading his shit. I'm telling you what to do right now. It's do one kill your muscle set. Burn out every bit of energy that you have in it, and then don't hit it again for another 4 to 7 days. I think it would work. I think it sounds like a good idea, and I'm probably going to use something to that degree of that effect when I go back into muscle building. So that's it, man. I give it my thumbs up because I think it's a good idea, and I do lift heavy now. Everything I do is high intensity. All this is adding more time under tension with the heavy sets. Hope that helps. Yo, Elliot.